It is time to go on a new adventure. And today, we fly to a local Philippine destination, a region I haven't been to in almost 2 decades. With warm smiles and happy hearts, let's fly to Davao.
Mabuhay ug Maria! Welcome to Davao Oriental. This is the province at the southeastern part of the Philippines. I'm going to be here for the next 3 nights and 4 days, and I will be going around as much as I can. And of course, I'm taking you with me.
We spent a couple of hours on the bus going to our first destination, the Mount Hamiguitan Range Wildlife Sanctuary.
Behind me and behind the clouds is Mount Hamiguitan. We are right now at the Mount Hamiguitan Range Wildlife Sanctuary. Here, you will find some of the Philippines' most diverse wildlife population, one of which is the national bird of the Philippines, the critically endangered but majestic Philippine eagle.
With an area of over 6,000 hectares, the Mount Hamiguitan Range was declared a national park and wildlife sanctuary in 2003 and declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2014, the 6th in the country. The property is home to threatened and endemic flora and fauna species, 8 of which are found only at Mount Hamiguitan. These include critically endangered trees, plants, and animals like the Philippine cockatoo and the Philippine eagle. To bring its beauty closer to visitors, young and old alike, the Mount Hamiguitan Natural Science Museum has officially opened its doors. The museum, with all its different sections, is interactive, showcasing the wonders of Mount Hamiguitan and what can be found within. My favorite part of the museum is Thor, the preserved Philippine eagle, which died in 2016 at the ripe old age of 46. She may not be as massive as Philippine eagles could grow to be, but nonetheless, she is a beauty, especially up close and personal. The museum, with only 2 floors, is small enough that one can finish the tour in less than 2 hours, but one will leave it more educated about the wonders of nature and hopefully with more respect to its preservation.
So this is the San Salvador del Mundo Church. This was built in 1884 here in Caraga, Davao Oriental. One of the many interesting things about this church is that the structure was built using wood, limestones, and corals.
Built by the Jesuits in 1884, the San Salvador del Mundo Church is recognized as the oldest church in Mindanao. A sacred fortress, it has miraculously survived earthquakes and typhoons that have devastated most infrastructures in the area. Renovations have been done for the upkeep of the church, but for the most part, its old features are still intact, from its main doors to the holy water font for churchgoers and the church bell that dates back to 1802. An antique statue of San Isidro Labrador, the town's patron saint, has been placed in a glass enclosure by the altar. In 2012, the church was declared a National Historical Site by the National Historical Commission of the Philippines.
This is Aliwagwag Falls in Barangay Aliwagwag. With 127 cascades, this makes it the highest waterfall in the country.
Standing at 1,110 feet, the waterfalls is a sight to behold. The sound of cascading water can either lull you to sleep or wake you up from excitement. Mine was the latter. So much so that I skipped the warm welcome especially performed for our group and went straight down to the foot of the falls. I removed my sandals and took off for the refreshing water. Multi-level viewing decks have been built at the Eco Park for those who just want to relax and listen to the sound of cascading water. In some designated areas, visitors are allowed to swim, but as it is running water and a powerful one at that, I highly suggest that once you visit, to stay within the allowed areas only.
This hanging bridge was built a couple of years ago for visitors, so it can accommodate about 10 to 15 people at a time. This is so that you can see this beautiful view.
The bridge was built by the old road primarily for the safety of those who want to take the best photos with the waterfalls as a backdrop. A true beauty. Aliwagwag Waterfalls will not disappoint.
First light, first sight. That is what they say here in Pusan Point. Pusan Point is at the easternmost part of the Philippines, which is where the sun first rises in the country.
They say the sun rises about 8 minutes earlier here than the rest of the country. That is why it was the perfect destination at the turn of the century when people wanted to celebrate the first millennium sunrise. This tourist destination has lighthouses overlooking the Pacific, a science museum with a gigantic sundial, and an erected white cross on the cliff by the shore surrounded by the most interesting rocks. If the sunrise is beautiful here, you would not want to miss the gorgeous sunset.
This is Isla Pujada or Pujada Island. As you can see, it has fine white sand that does not hurt your feet at all, even in the middle of the day. Now, if you're a snorkeler or if you love free diving, if you're a scuba diver, or if you're someone who just wants to lay down on the beach and then get a beautiful tan, you have to come to Isla Pujada.
One of the most beautiful bays in the world, Isla Pujada sits on the Pacific coast of Mindanao, with calm blue waters and Mount Hamiguitan as its backdrop. Pujada Island is perfectly picturesque. The summer sun was beating down when I visited after taking a 20-minute boat ride. The first thing I noticed was its long stretches of white sand beaches. The second was its state. How clean and clear the water was. So inviting for a swim. I also noticed and appreciated the lack of concrete structures. Unlike other beaches fronted by resorts, this island, thankfully, had none. In fact, it had the feel of an undeveloped island despite the fact that there were a few huts on the beach, just enough to shelter visitors from the harsh sun and celebrate its beauty together. My short visit there was a welcome respite from all the land travels in between, but I also loved the short, calm boat rides to and from Isla Pujada. Before moving on to our next destination, we were each served fresh coconut juice. Yum!
They are skimboarders. We are here at the Hican Beach, and this is paradise for skimboarders like them and surfers. Looks so much fun.
Mati City's Dahican shoreline is known to many as the skimboarding capital of Mindanao. It is a 7-kilometer stretch of open beach facing the Pacific Ocean. This is also where Filipino pride Davaoeño world champion skimboarder Sonny Boy Bayugyog sharpened his skills and is currently training others to do the same. Aside from being a water sports haven, the Hican Beach also serves as a sanctuary for sea turtles. After the beach stops, we made a quick trip to the Don Paco Rocamora Golf and Country Club for a short tour of their 9-hole golf course, the Mati City Airport, which is right beside it, and take photos with the ultralight planes, which unfortunately we could not experience as they are preferably flown in the morning. Our last visit for the day was at the Subangan Davao Oriental Provincial Museum. Upon entering, we were greeted by the sight of the skeleton of a 53-feet-long sperm whale which washed up on the shore of Mati City back in 2010. The museum featured theme exhibitions centered on Davao Oriental's natural, cultural, and historical heritage. Our last morning in the region began with a stop at Cadayawan Village in Davao City. Located within Ramon Magsaysay Park, this cultural peace hub is where homes of the Lumad and Moro groups were reconstructed as a display of Philippine architecture while also highlighting important traditions and rituals. Right outside the village is the Magsaysay fruit stands. And the star of the show is, of course, the fruit durian, as Davao is the durian capital of the country. Despite its pungent smell, my busmates were clamoring to buy fresh durian to eat and take home. I have been averse to trying it for so long, but as they say, when in Rome, or in this case, when in Davao. So I dove headfirst and tried for the first time. Our guides chose to introduce us first to the entry-level durian. Apparently, there are 30 variants of the fruit. Pleasantly surprised was my first reaction. Durian, as I have come to realize, is actually deliciously custardy, soft, like eating ice cream that doesn't melt. So after that experience, you may now call me a durian convert. A trip is not a trip without shopping. So before catching our flight back to Manila, we stopped at the Poblacion Market Central. Here is where one can find all things Davao, from the colorful clothes, bags, and accessories to the much coveted South Sea pearls. The two-story market can be overwhelming with so many choices and stores, but the best advice I can give is take your time. Ask for the prices and bargain hard.
And that's it for my quick trip to Davao Oriental. If you like the video, please do subscribe and click the like button. Davao Oriental, daghang salamat. Till the next one.
A special thanks to Philippine Travel Agencies Association Incorporated, Department of Tourism, Region 11, Province of Davao Oriental, and the LGUs of Mati City, Caraga, Katiil, Banay-Banay, and San Isidro, Davao Oriental. Daghang salamat.